What's up, y'all? Y'all been asking me for some type of tutorials on how to make these shoes if you want to make them yourself. So today we're gonna start out a little bit simple. I'm gonna be teaching y'all how to add the fabrics onto the shoe. So if it wants to focus where all the pink Dior is, I'm gonna show y'all how to add it on, the best ways to do it, and how to make it just look neat, because I see a lot of messiness when it comes to starters. So I'm gonna show y'all the best way to do this shit. Give y'all some little free game. Also, if you guys are looking on where to order the fabric, I do sell it on Instagram. That's what that whole white thing is filled with. So if you go on Instagram, shoezona.fabric, I do sell all the fabric with fast shipping. So if you're looking to make your own customs, continue watching, go order some fabric. And yeah, let's get into it. So the pair I'm doing today is actually for an order. So I'm gonna go grab a pair of shoes. I need a 5.5. And they're going to be the black Dior's, which is one of my most popular designs. It's gonna be with this design, so I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how I do it, really. Alright, y'all, so the first step, got your all whites. You're gonna wanna take the laces out. It always makes everything easier once you got the laces fully out of the shoe. So go ahead and take the laces out of both shoes. Just put them onto the side so you don't lose them. We'll need those later. Go ahead and do that real quick. Right, now we got the laces out. Another big thing is make sure your shoe still has this in it. If it doesn't have the paper in it, go ahead and make your own with newspaper, bag, something. Make sure there's something that you can stuff in the shoe. It gives the shoe more of like a frame, and just makes it tighter up here. So it's gonna be neater. So first thing you're gonna need is some masking tape. Which one? This is the contractor grade. I think it's called the contractor grade. It's the stickiest one. It's the only one that's worked for me so far. So make sure you get the contractor grade one, not just no normal masking tape. And then you're literally just gonna place it on the shoe. You're just gonna put it on the shoe where it's a little bit over the toe box on both sides. You can see that's where it ends right there. And you don't have to leave as much extra on the sides, it just makes it a little bit easier for me. And then we're gonna cut it out. Okay, so once you got this, next thing you're gonna want is an X-Acto knife. You can use any type. I have a couple of them. Anything with the X-Acto blade on the end. There's the smaller ones. Any of these will work. This one just has the best grip for me. Gives me the most control. I did buy it at Hobby Lobby, so you'll just need that. Make sure you have a sharp blade on it, a new blade. If it's not sharp, it's going to be very hard to do this. So there's two ways to do this. If you don't trust yourself with the blade at first, you can take a pen and trace around this. That's another way to do it. You can take a pen and trace, but my favorite way is to use a blade. It kind of cuts out any extra steps. So you're just going to go ahead and follow the shape of the shoe. It's kind of just one of those things where you just have to watch and kind of like know where it is and just cut it out. So you can kind of see it right here. You see that this is just a straight shot. So I just stab it, get in it, and don't press too hard where you're cutting the shoe. Just press enough just so you're cutting the tape. And then you'll go all the way around. This is very hard to do on camera, I'm not gonna lie. Just like that. Once it starts coming up a little bit, just keep pressing it down. And then right here, go all the way around. And I found it easier to do one piece of tape at a time. Some people will tape up this entire thing and just cut it out like that. But I like it better this way, so you can kind of, especially if you're a beginner, you can see where the shoe actually is, and if you're cutting it, you know that's where it ends right here. If that makes any sense. Because if you tape the whole thing up at once, it's going to be kind of harder to follow all the lines. But this one, it gives you an idea of where your blade should be, if that makes sense. So, we finished with this top one. I'm going to rip this tape off. And should look like this. Press it down. And then we're gonna go ahead and do this piece right here as well. So just go ahead, make sure you overlap it a good amount. It doesn't have to be too much, just make sure it's overlapping so when you peel it up, it doesn't come undone. Try to not have too many wrinkles, but wrinkles honestly don't affect it that much. Just make sure there are not no huge wrinkles. Another thing that helps is like pressing it in on the sides to kind of give you more of an outline. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to put your blade in and just follow the shape of the shoe. So easiest way to say it is just press your blade up against that little what's it called? It's like a little wall almost. Just press your blade up against it and just follow it. So you can kind of see how the shoe goes up right here. Just press your blade in, follow that, and it should give you a nice smooth line. And then it should look like that. And then we're gonna go ahead, this one we're gonna do the check marks, the back and the front as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do those. The check mark, in my opinion, is super easy. Some people find it super hard. So I like doing the check mark better than like behind it, but some people don't like it because of it's round. But it's super easy. So again, just press it down so you can kind of see the outline. And then you're just gonna put your blade in. You can start anywhere. I like it just because it's just a solid straight line for the most part. Make sure you always get this little back end, the little curve. We're gonna do another straight line right here. And then the curve is kind of the hard part. So, in my opinion, it's not too hard. I just start somewhere random, curve it up, come back to the bottom, finish it. And then go around to the other side. I'm trying to see how I can do this where you guys can still watch. And then constantly just keep pushing it down. Make sure the tape is still in the right spot. Just go all the way around. And then you're just going to rip that off. Alright, and then go ahead and do that to the same one on the other side. And then for the back, super simple. I usually just use one of the leftover pieces of tape. Just going to put it on the back like this. Press it down. And do the same exact thing. Just follow it. And then we want to do the sides. Other side. And then we're going to do this bottom. That's it for that piece. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and do this piece as well. And then also this one, super simple as well. Just put a piece of tape and you're just going to cut around that. Alright, so now that we got the whole shoe taped up, and go ahead and cut out the fabric. So we're going to use this Eeyore right here. And we're just going to place these pieces of tape onto here. Alright, so now that we got all the pieces cut out, just right along that tape line. You don't want to leave anything on the sides. Cut right around it. It'll give you the best fit. This is one of the most important steps. Make sure you just have really clean lines. Nothing's jagged. This one is more of like a fabric, so you're gonna see some of those like little fabric pieces, what can you call them, like threads, like on the sides here, but I'll show y'all how to get rid of those as well. So next step is gonna be putting it on the shoe. So typically on this shoe I'm not gonna do it just because with fabrics they are thinner. Typically I would take off this Nike check mark. Like on this one I did take off the check mark. Otherwise it would have been too fat. It just wouldn't have looked good. So if you're using a thicker fabric, I recommend taking off this check mark. Super easy. Just lift back this little piece right here. Stick your X-Acto knife back there and just cut the threads off. And then just go all the way around. Just cut the threads off underneath. But if you're using like a thinner fabric, you can just lay it right on top and it won't be that bad. With my Dior's, I always do it right on top. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're almost done already. So we're gonna start off with the check mark. I already have my glue on there. So all you're gonna do is just line it up the best you can. Okay, and then you're gonna want to press it down really good. And then right here at this little end part, so it doesn't look like it's sticking up or anything, if it wants to focus, you're just going to use your thumb or any nail you have and just press this down right here. If you don't have nails, another way you can do it is just use an X-Acto knife and press it down. And then we're going to let it dry a little bit before we take off the tape, otherwise it's going to try to rip up the design. So we're just going to let that dry for a little bit, and while that's drying we're going to move on to this front piece. We're going to go ahead and do this front piece now. Same thing, line it up the best you can. And just go all the way around, press it down. This one you are going to want to take the tape off right away, just because this one you're going to have to do a lot more fixing and moving around to make sure it looks the best. So we're going to go ahead and rip this tape off right away. Okay, and then same thing, you're going to want to use either your nail, an X-Acto knife, something sharp, and go all the way around and just press in. One, that's making sure it's all the way to the edge so there's no big white spots. And it's also just, as you can see, kind of right here, you can see how, I don't know how good it shows on camera, but it just doesn't look like it's sticking on the shoe very well. It's kind of just like over the edge. So once you go in and use something to pat it down, it'll give you a way better finish. I'm gonna go all the way around. I'm sorry y'all, this camera not fucking with me today. Okay, and then the front is kind of the most important part. That's always the one that always wants to stick up the most for me. Okay, looking good, looking good. And then we're gonna dry that a little bit, let the glue underneath dry, before we try to get rid of all those little extra threads that are hanging up. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do this Nike sign as well. This one should be ready to take off now. There we go. And then with stuff like this, you can cut the long ones, and then like I said, I'll show you how to get rid of the smaller ones. Alright, and I also forgot to mention, when putting the glue on this part of the shoe, this is the best paintbrush to use for it. Any type of like small, just like one-time use paintbrushes. It has super small end. I buy packs of, I think they come in packs of like 30. I get them from Walmart. But it's just the easiest for me, because once you put glue on it, you're not going to want to sit there and clean it. So these are the best ones, like I said, from Walmart in the craft section. It also helps you get in the tight little spaces. So those so far have been the best for me. But I went ahead, put all these other sides on. And now we're going to get rid of all those little flyaways. So best way to get rid of all those little threads that you see and really just give it a cleaner finish, you want to take a lighter. Best one is the one with the long end, so you're not burning yourself, and quickly just go along it. Don't hold it too much in one spot, otherwise you will burn the shoe. And then you can just kind of press down and move away anything. We're going to do that on the front as well. With the front, make sure you keep pressing down on it as well while the glue is drying. It gets rid of any air bubbles. Alright, same thing. Okay, now we're going to take off all these other pieces of tape and do the same thing with the lighter. I never really worried too much about the back piece or this front piece with the lighter. They're usually pretty good. Alright, so we're all done with those. If you want to do the extra steps, you can add the little, you can color the back of this. I would do it black, or you could do any other color. I don't ever recommend doing this part right here. That will never last on the rubber. Alright, so now we're just going to lace it back up. So just grab that lace you used to have. I always take off this silver piece. I don't like the silver. I feel like it just looks tacky. So I'm going to go ahead and add a black one to it. I also do sell these as well. Make sure they're even. And then just go ahead and lace the shoe up. Alright, so now the shoe is all laced up. And you're all done. So like I said, you can add anything else you want to it. If you want to paint on it, change lace colors, anything like that. But that is the basics of it. Yeah, if you guys are interested in anything else on how to do customs, leave that in the comments. Let me know what type of tutorial you want. And I will go ahead and make some more tutorials for you guys. I'm just going to fix this piece right here. It was bothering me. But you guys can also DM me with any questions you have. And I will try to get back to y'all.